Welcome. Good afternoon. I'm glad everybody could come. I'm glad you all got my email that said, please be here. Christy Cardillo, if you don't know me, this is Brenda Rogers. Thank you for being here. And a special welcome to everyone who was able to join us. And at this time, Dick Gross, are you on the call?
I'm here.
All right. Mr. Gross is going to bring us our invocation to start our meeting.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, as we gather today during this most trying time, please help us to remember our fellow Kiwanians who recently passed. Stan Stevens and Bob Sweat gave their all to help us become the club that we are today. Please remember their families and all the people touched because of their giving of time and talents. In your most holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dick. So I'm gonna go through a few announcements before we get started. And let's see, at the end of our program, once we get through our scholarships, Smith is going to share a page of our Kiwanis history, so make sure you stick around for that after the program. Also, I want to let all of our Kiwanians know that we have a Kids Against Hunger volunteer event coming up very quickly. I know Mac had them in the newsletter and the link that you can go out to Google Doc to sign up. We really don't have enough people signed up for it. We have one that starts this Saturday. We really need 10 people per shift. They're 2-hour shifts, and we only have 3 to 4 people signed up. So we kept it to small groups where we're not exposing each other to a lot of people. And this is to make the food packages that stay here in our community. So please, please use that link and sign up if you would like to volunteer and if you're able to. And if you can't get the link to work, I'm sure if you reach out to Mac, he will help you get signed up. Also, please make sure that you are emailing Janine Amick your volunteer hours. She's still keeping track and wants to be able to tell that story at the end of our year of how we all continue to volunteer as we move through what we're going through this year. And now for our program, I'm going to begin it with asking Mr. Vita to share with us a little bit about the late Kiwanian Stan Stevens. John?
Have to unmute.
Thanks, Mac. I appreciate it. I don't know if you can give me the ability to share a picture, but I've had a picture that at the end of this I wanted to share. So if you can, great. If not, it's not that big a deal. But so I've known Stan for a long time. I know there's people on this call that knew him longer than I did, but I first met Stan back in 1980 when I was a member of the Manatee High School Key Club. And he's one of those people that you remember from your youth as kind of a bigger than life person and somebody that was very, very impactful to you in lots of different things and lots of different areas. In particular with Stan, he impressed upon me, the importance of giving back to the community and the importance of, really being able to share, especially with youth of the community and the future of the community. And Stan believed very, very strongly in that. So I think I've said the story before, but maybe some of you that don't know it, but even after I was kicked out of Key Club for not having enough hours completed, Stan was still there. He was still, a big influence in my life. And I continued to see Stan as, throughout high school, especially over the summers, as I went to Kiwanis meetings and Stan was there and I attended with my father and saw so many people, the Archie Powells of the world, the Sam Neils, the Bob Hensleys, Ed Kirscher, Lou Files, everybody. And it was an amazing, amazing time, I think, in my young childhood. it's funny because a lot of people say, hey, we don't really see that anymore in our club, that we've lost a lot of those characters. And I would submit to you that, yes, that's true. We've lost a lot of characters, but we've also gained a lot of characters in our club. And it's important for us to realize that people want to be together with characters in our club and people that are leading the community. And it's really important. And I know that Stan would feel that way as well. We reconnected in 1992, and along the lines of Stan saying, hey, you're going to take a lot out of this community. You should give a lot back to the community. And again, I really felt strongly about that. So Stan, in his typical fashion, found ways for me to get involved and found ways for me to help to make the community a better place and work with kids. And among those was Key Club. So I reconnected, and I think in 1994, I became the advisor to Key Club again. And the amazing thing about it was Stan was right there. So even though he stepped aside as the advisor to Key Club after 20 years, he was always right there. He was always happy to give advice, but he did so in a way that wasn't threatening to me as the person who was coming in and taking over and wanting to do new things. I actually agreed to the job when Stan asked me, as long as I didn't have to do one of the things that he did. And again, a lot of you will remember this. Stan, back in that day, because of the school scheduling, we used to pretty much bring the whole club to the Kiwanis Club for the meeting. And because of scheduling now, we only get to bring a few students to the club to run our meeting. But we'd have 70, 80, 90 students in the club meeting, doing all this. And Stan would actually stand up on the podium, and he would introduce every student by name from memory. No paper in front of him, nothing in front of him. And it was just amazing. That's the kind of person he was, not just because he had a great memory, but he genuinely took an interest in all of those students and all those people. So it was really a pretty cool relationship that we had. And it was a really cool relationship that he had with the club and continued to have with the club. Even in later years, Stan, after he moved back to Dunellen, he'd touch base every once in a while. He'd reach out every once in a while, and he'd ask how things were going and what was happening. And I wish I would have, now reached out to him a little bit more now that he's not here. And it's kind of like almost a father figure, that those of us that have lost mothers or fathers, think all the time, boy, it'd be nice to ask them a question right now and see what their opinion would be. And I know that if Stan were around, he'd be able to do that. So that was my deal with Stan. And there's been a lot of people like that, I think, in our community. And I hope you all can see on my screen right now, there's a guy that I put up there, and he was one of my teachers at King Middle School when King Middle School first opened up. And I know there's at least one person on this call that knows who this person is. I don't know if everybody will recognize him or not, but he was a guy like that too. And he's a guy today that is here for our club all the time, and he's an unsung hero, and one of those people I think that needs that needs to be recognized for everything that he does and the tireless work doing it, not the least of which is sending out our newsletters at 1 o'clock in the morning. But that is actually a picture of our club secretary, Mac Aldridge, back when he was a teacher at King Middle School back in the day. So I pulled that out of my yearbook, thinking that Mac would like me to share that with everybody.
Hey, John, if you would, what you need to do is to show that picture on your screen, you need to click on the share screen at the bottom.
Oh, I did. I thought, okay.
No, it's not the Wolfman picture, is it?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Is that it? There we go. I just didn't hit the.
Yeah, that was the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some hair, Matt.
Yeah, we were going through some perm every couple of weeks.
You didn't look like that when I went through.
When Mac joined the club, it took me a while to figure out who he was, and I knew the name and I knew the voice. I just couldn't place the face, and this is why. But great person, and just to finish up my comments about Stan, I thought it would be great to equate it to somebody that's currently in the club. I think doing a great job for us. So. And I thought everybody get a kick out of seeing that picture.
Oh yeah.
And I can sell copies of it if needed.
Oh,
we
stop.
can put
Okay.
we can put the proceeds towards the foundation or something. So just let me know.
Thank you, John.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious.
Huh. So now, thank you, John, very much for sharing about Stan. He was a very special person. He was always very kind to me. Now, without further ado, I am going to transition the program over to Brenda Rogers. She is going to present our scholarships. Brenda?
Thank you, Christy.
Got it?
We're going to go through this. I'm going to share my screen now. Do you see something that's not me? Are you seeing the presentation?
I am.
Thank you. Okay, so it is my honor to be here today to welcome our Kiwanis Leadership Award winners for the 2020 award winners. This is a very unusual way that we bring our winners to our club meeting. We stand them up in front of the crowd with their parents and we rave about them, and the only thing that's missing is that they're not going to be standing in front of the crowd. But we do have some parents here, and I'm really happy to be part of this process and this presentation. So today we're here to recognize our 2020 Bradenton Kiwanis Keep Club Award winners. And first, our scholarship committee would like to thank our officers and board members for finding some extra funds so that our committee didn't have to choose from these fabulous students that you're about to meet. Usually the committee chooses 8 recipients, and this year we had 10 applicants, all remarkable young people who have served our community well. And before I introduce them, I want to share just a little bit about the Bradenton Kiwanis Scholarship Program. So as far back in time as, let me see how, I figure out how to advance my slides, sorry. I should have done this first. Okay. So as far back in time as we know, Bradenton Kiwanis Club gave scholarships to deserving students. This is recorded in news clippings, our club scrapbooks, the minutes, and several reports. We also have several members who have revealed that they too received scholarships. Greg Bussell was one of those. And so at this time, I'd like to ask if you received a scholarship from Bradenton Kiwanis, would you please indicate that in the chat? We'd like to hear from you and know about you. Today, if you are a member of the Bradenton Kiwanis Club, you or any of your relatives are not allowed to receive scholarships, and that's an IRS rule. That wasn't our rule, but that does not happen today. There were several historical events that influenced the scholarship giving program. The first was the sale of the trailer park that brought us an increase in available dollars. Right after the sale of the trailer park, the club and the foundation were audited by the IRS. Manatee Community College Foundation, now State College of Florida, was able to match scholarship funds with state grants that doubled the amount we were able to give. At that time, the rules allowed for the club committee to have some input into the selection of the recipients. And then they changed the rules and we weren't able to do that anymore. So together we honored the obligation of the scholarships and then separated that arrangement, and the club stood up its own scholarship arrangement again. Then also at that time, our club foundation was operating in a manner that meant that there was a certain amount of funds, a certain percentage of funds that had to be given away each year. And so the scholarship program became the vehicle to make up the difference between what was used in other community service and what was required to be given by the IRS rules. And so our foundation, with the input of our CPA, would determine the amount of money that was needed to be awarded for scholarships. And then the committee would accept the applications and interview and determine, based on needs, the academic success, and other factors of service, who would receive our scholarships and the amount they would receive. Over the years, the scholarship committee would tweak the rules as we learned and worked with the students and school guidance counselors. And eventually, our focus became centered on those students who could not have gone to college without our assistance. In the late, in 2000, based on some input from local guidance counselors, the club made a deal with the school board to pilot a college counselor position that would be placed at Manatee High School. The first year, the club foundation fully funded that position. The second year, we funded half, and then the third year, we funded 25%. And with the idea that it would be able to continue there at Manatee High School. But wouldn't you know it, that 2008, the year it ended, was the first year of the last time we really were desperate for funds in our, where we had a downturn in funds. And so because of the budget crunching, that program closed. The person that was the career counselor, Debbie Landisberg, was then hired by St. Stephen's School to assist students in a similar kind of program. Next, Take Stock in Children came on the scene, and we had some opportunity to give scholarship funds to that program. And then they were able to also match the dollar per dollar, the funds that we were given. So our dollar investment in scholarships, we were able to double that investment by working with Take Stock in Children, and we still have a partnership and arrangement with Take Stock. And that led us to the establishment of the Leadership and Service Awards for Key Club that we're recognizing today. And so our club held out a little bit of money to recognize outstanding leaders in the various key clubs in Manatee County schools. So since 1997, our club has given over $2.5 million through various scholarship components. And today we're going to recognize 10 exceptional students with $1,000 scholarship awards. Our first student is Jenna Haas. Jenna is amongst the top 4% in her graduating class at Manatee High School, where she was part of the College Preparatory Academy, formerly known as the AP Plus program. As a Key Club member, she served as webmaster and logged over 500 service hours through work in the food pantry, serving Sunday lunches to the homeless, beach and stadium cleanups, and others. Key Club is not the only organization that Jenna cites in her resume. Others include National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, Science National Honor Society, and MEMSELS. Through these organizations, Jenna served as a tutor of other students, participated in academic competitions, and demonstrated her leadership abilities. She's earned several honors for academics, distinguished service through Key Club, high-level awards for music competitions, and is a graduate of Junior Leadership Manatee. Jenna will attend the University of Florida and major in business administration, and she is unable to attend today's Zoom. Next is Lindsay Heyer. Excuse me. Lindsay is a graduate of Lakewood Ranch High School, where she served as president of her Key Club. Under her leadership, the Lakewood Ranch Key Club logged over 5,000 hours of service. Lindsay's leadership abilities are reflected through a number of service activities cited in her resume. Examples include serving as student leader for the Lakewood Ranch Community Activities Organization where she led groups of 30 volunteers to work at community events held in the village. She also volunteered with the All Faiths Food Bank, the Animal Shelter, and participated in volunteer medical program at Lakewood Ranch Medical Center, where she worked in the orthopedic division, assisting in therapy classes, organizing workflow, and assisting nurses. Honors include Student of the Year awarded by the Lakewood Ranch Community Activities Group and Outstanding Youth Hunger Hero 2019, presented by All Faiths Food Bank. Lindsay will attend the University of Florida, where she will major in pharmacy. Her goals include a doctorate in pharmacy. And I believe her parents, John and Gail Heyer, have joined us on the Zoom today. We congratulate all three of you. Lindsay, if you want to just say hello, then you'll show up on the Zoom.
Hi, thank you guys so much for this award. It's been really nice to work with Kiwanis these past couple of years, and it's been really great to help in the community.
Thank you. Next is Kaylee Hodges, and Kaylee is a recent graduate of Southeast High School, and she's been part of the International Baccalaureate program since first grade and has successfully completed many AP classes as part of her education. She's logged 300 service hours through her Key Club efforts, and some of the noteworthy volunteer efforts have included providing leadership to the club's annual banquet and their World Hunger Banquet, which creates awareness of hunger issues around the world and raises funds to combat the spread. Kaylee's also been involved in the collection of items needed by clients at the Safe Place and Rape Crisis Center of Sarasota. Her honors include many related to academics, service, and leadership. She shared in her application that through Key Club, she learned the power of service and appreciated the sense of belonging that comes from being part of the K family. She will attend the University of Florida, where she'll major in biomedicine, and unfortunately, Kaylee was not able to join us today. Next is Isabella Liberty, and she has a heart for service in our community. Her resume cites about 16 hours of service each week with a few extra projects thrown in. This Lakewood Ranch graduate has served as an officer in her Key Club, both treasurer and vice president, and has been involved in many of the projects conducted with other community organizations such as Miracle League, Top Soccer, Lakewood Ranch Main Street events, disease runs, school activities, and fundraisers. She's received many recognition for her academics, arts, and service. Most of her coursework has been AP classes, and she's been dually enrolled at State College of Florida. Isabella has chosen to pursue a degree in medicine, starting with earning a biology degree at the University of South Florida, which she should have completed in the next 2 years. She's not certain which specialty she will pursue, but is currently leaning towards trauma surgery. Her parents, Gaetano and Martha Liberty, have joined us on our Zoom today. Isabella, will you say hello?
Hi, thank you guys so much for this scholarship. I've loved the opportunities that have been granted to me through Key Club, and I'm really going to miss this chapter of my life as I move on to college.
Thank you very much. Next is Kyla Munoz, and Kyla is a recent graduate of Lakewood Ranch High School. She describes herself as hardworking, curious, an honor student with exceptional academic record, and her resume confirms that description. Kyla's volunteer service and leadership abilities have been demonstrated through her support of Mothers Helping Mothers, Nate's Honor Society, which is an animal rescue center, Johnson K through 8 school, UNICEF, and Key Club. Kyla is a figure skater and is skilled in watercolor painting. She will attend the University of South Florida in Tampa, majoring in international studies. Her college education will include learning additional languages. Her goal is to pursue a career in international affairs with the U.S. State Department or the FBI. And unfortunately, she was unable to join us today as well. Next is Isabella Sanchez. She's a graduate of Manatee High School. As Key Club president, Isabella led 78 Key Club members in service and leadership. She herself has logged over 460 hours of service through Key Club, with partnerships such as with YMCA, Keep Manatee Beautiful, Solve, Salvation Army, and more. She's also served as the Division 17 Lieutenant Governor, where she's demonstrated her leadership and communication skills in working with key clubs throughout the division, which includes both Manatee and Sarasota County clubs. Isabella's been involved in other organizations besides her work with Key Club. Some of these include Science National Honor Society, the National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, Spanish Club, and academic teams. Isabella has received numerous awards for academics, leadership, and service, including being named as a semi-finalist in the Coca-Cola Scholars Program and as Leader of Leaders for the Florida District of Key Club International. As you can see, Isabella has a heart for service, which is leading her to pursue a career in medicine. Her next step is to earn a degree in molecular and cellular biology at the University of Florida. Her ultimate goal is to become a pediatric oncologist. Isabella, would you like to say hello?
Hi, thank you so much for this scholarship. I've been a part of the K family since K Kids, and it's granted me so many memories that I'll cherish forever. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Ishmina Singh, and she's a graduate of Southeast High School, where she served as webmaster in her Key Club for the past couple of years. She also planned and implemented weekly service projects for the club. Additional service activities included providing activities for residents at Westminster Point Pleasant's Memory Care Unit and for their families. Volunteer work at Easter Seals, Key Club's World Hunger Banquet, and other projects and activities. Ishmina is a teacher and performer of Indian dance and is also involved in related cultural and community events. She has received numerous awards for academics, leadership, and service. In her application narrative, she talks about her fascination with computers and technology and how early use created a curiosity about the many things a computer can do. To measure her interest, she took an AP computer science course, and this course nurtured her passion and set her career path. She plans to pursue a degree in computer science at the Herbert Wortham College of Engineering at the University of Florida. Her parents, Millie and Mano Singh, are here with us today. Ishmina, would you like to say hello?
Hi everyone, I just wanted to say a quick thank you for choosing me as one of the recipients for this scholarship. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm so glad I got to be a part of this amazing organization for the last 4 years. And I'll always remember everything I've done with this organization.
Thank you. Next is Madeleine Stewart, a graduate of Manatee High School, served as treasurer and then as secretary of the Manatee MHS Key Club. Madeleine accumulated over 600 hours of service credited to her Key Club work. She served as co-captain of the mock trial group, organizing cases to help students learn to present the cases and combat questions. These activities taught organizational skills, public speaking, and critical thinking, all essential skills for success in today's job market. Madeleine has received honors and recognitions for her academics, such as Regional Science Fair, Congress French Competition, the White M and Gold Bars for academic excellence, to name a few. She's studied French language all 4 years at MHS, and she will attend the University of Florida pursuing a degree in international studies with a focus in European studies. Madeleine, would you like to say hello?
Hi, I just want to thank you guys again for this award. It's been really cool working with you guys for so long, and I hope to continue volunteering in the community. Thank you again.
Next is Zoe Van Beek, a Manatee High School graduate. She's also been very involved in a number of extracurricular activities, including marching and concert band, HOSA, Spanish Club, and German exchange program. Her Key Club efforts include logging 350 hours of community service, leading major emphasis efforts, and volunteer work with the Salvation Army. Individually, Zoe has served as puppy raiser for Southeast Guide Dogs and volunteer at Blake Medical Center, transporting patients and doing organizational tasks. Zoe has been dually enrolled as a full-time student at State College of Florida and has decided to complete her associate degree and earn her prerequisites. She hopes to transfer to Florida State or University of South Florida to complete her bachelor's degree and ultimately wants to go to medical school. Congratulations, Zoe. Would you like to say hello?
Hello, I just wanted to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I've had an amazing 4 years in Key Club, and I really look forward to continuing my journey in the K family in the future. Thank you.
Next is Jessica Wu, and Jessica is a graduate of Manatee High School, where she was dually enrolled at State College of Florida. She has a stellar academic record, along with many examples of service and leadership are cited in her resume. She was engaged in Mu Alpha Theta, Science National Honor Society, National Honor Society, Skills USA, Mock Trial, Zonta Club, in addition to her Key Club engagement. She's received the White M and Bars for Academic Excellence, has been recognized by Key Club International for service and activities, and many other awards. She's another well-rounded student who has gained a variety of skills from the experiences and courses that have been part of her MHS experience. Jessica will pursue a degree in biochemistry from the University of Florida. Her mother, Christine Wu, was supposed to be with us today. I'm not sure if she got here or not, but Jessica, would you like to say hello?
Hi, I'd like to thank Key Club and Kiwanis for all the opportunities that have been made possible and for the memories and service. Thank you again for the scholarship opportunity, and I look forward to making you proud over the next coming years.
Thank you. Before I turn control of but it's not the lectern, whatever this is, over the Zoom back over to our President-elect Christy, I would like to recognize the scholarship committee, Jan Shaberg, Dave Grantham, Lemoyne Johnson, Steve Tinsworth, Lorraine Rogers, Mark Nelson, and me. And I want to say that I don't vote on whenever we do these awards, because I have so much interaction with the students that I kind of leave it to the others. And there was not one of them that didn't tell me how impossible a selection out of this stellar group of students would be this year. So again, I congratulate all of you and your families for this milestone in your growth and development as you get ready to pursue the next level of learning and on a path towards your profession. And I'd like to ask our school superintendent Saunders if she'd like to make a few remarks, and then we'll turn control back over to Christy. Superintendent Saunders.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and I'm so glad that I was able to be here today. The other blessings we've been able to encounter this week was today, Braden River High School had their commencement activities at Lecom Field. We had Southeast High School yesterday. And for those Manatee High School graduates, I'll be seeing you tonight at 8 o'clock. And of course, tomorrow at 9 is Lakewood Ranch High School. So we're very fortunate that we were able to persevere and hold out and come up with a way that we could still celebrate our students and make sure that this year did end strong. But I do have a couple of words that I also have written that I would just like to remind them. I will tell you, I was a high school principal. I was, of course, a high school teacher. And I don't know that anyone that's been in the field of education could ever even imagine this type of an event would have happened. I will tell you, there will be bestseller movies and novels written in days and years to come from this. So we're all going to be a part of that. But I do know one thing, and many of the things that our students have been able to learn during this difficult time, like patience, perseverance, optimism, and faith, these things will carry you through for years to come. They will make you a better person because of this. And it really will pay off big time in your future. I also know this, that the class of 2020 is going to be a class like no other. You are now a part of history, and you are always going to be remembered. So I want you all to finish knowing this, that you need to make the most of your future, look for creative and meaningful ways to celebrate one another, find a way to leave a lasting legacy for those that come behind you. Because having faith, staying strong, you know that you can overcome anything. We are all so proud of this class. The majority of the students have attended their graduations thus far, and it just warms your heart to know that our future is bright. The students are persevering, they are staying strong, and I'm just glad that we were able to be a small part of making this happen this year. So I thank you Kiwanians, for supporting our students and our school district, and we look forward to brighter days to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Christy?
Yes, thank you so much, Superintendent Saunders. We really appreciate the words for the students and to help them to go forward. You know, I sat here and I listened to each one and all the things you've been doing through high school. And the one thing I take away from it is it gives all of us a lot of hope for the future. You guys are doing all the right things and just keep persevering. And, you know, it's just the very next step that you have to take is all you really have to do, right? And think your way through it. So congratulations. You deserve the scholarships, and we're very excited for you for your endeavors for the future. If we were all in person, I would be giving each of you a golden rule to measure your future success by. So I'll give you an imaginary golden ruler to measure your future success by. And just remember the golden rule of treat others of how you would want to be treated. So now in our program, we're going to shift, and I think Judge Smith is on here, and he's going to read a page of Kiwanis history that we're gonna do before we end our program for the day.
And so before I begin, what's behind me is the fountain that was built when the historic courthouse was built in 1913. And that's a fountain, and those are live alligators that they put in there in 1918 as a result of the sheriff receiving a gift of some baby alligators. So you're standing where you would be looking west to Main Street behind this fountain. We're going to take up where we were, and we're still in 1928. And by the end of 1928, the Braden and Kiwanis Club had inducted some very special new members: Dan S. Blaylock Sr., D.D. Gilmore, H.C. Harden, Jack Lawyer, Claude Lee, Alfred O'Neill, Whiten Troutman, and Leo Wilson. From the time to time, members of the club presented their own program in the community to raise money by acting, singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments. These performances were always at night and attracted large audiences. Many of the programs were at the Palace Theater, which at that time was on 13th Street in downtown Bradenton. Some of you may remember where the Palace Theater was at that time, which later became known as the Capri. On March 5th, 1929, at midnight, at the new Palace Theater on 13th Street, the club presented the program. The Kiwanis Minstrels, to raise money, was presented for its mission to benefit underprivileged children in the community. The cast included W.A. Manning as the interlocutor, Claude Lee and Dewey Dye as comedians, Robert M. Bell, Ellen Rood, W.H. Troutman, and Dan Blaylock Sr. as the in-men, and solos were sung by William Lathrop, Dan Blaylock Sr., W.A. Manning, and Dewey Dye. And on May 3rd, 1929, at a joint luncheon meeting with the Sarasota Kiwanis Club at the Bay Island Hotel in Sarasota, the entire membership of the Braden and Kiwanis Club was in attendance, and that was a record. Members of the club were in charge of the program, which featured the Kiwanis Minstrel Show. After Camp Flying Eagle was established in 1929, the club took the lead in constructing facilities for the Boy Scouts to use while camping. Tenants were either not available or funds were not available for purchasing them, so members of the club themselves personally constructed 3 of the cabins in the early summer of 1929 to be used as sleeping quarters. According to the Bradenton Herald, the workers from the club, the members of the club, were spurred on by free Coca-Colas furnished by W.H. Troutman, a member of the club, who was also manager of the Bradenton Coca-Cola bottling plant. On November 29, 1929, at the regular luncheon meeting, the agenda was full with an election and an interesting program. After some discussion, the club elected Robert M. Bell as the 1930 president, along with Sidley L. White as first vice president, Harry Lynn as second vice president, Edward W. Rice as district trustee, and Dan Blaylock Sr., D. Barrington, Henry Fair, O. D. Groff, L. N. Harlow, Dr. Sheets, and William Vanderripe as directors. President Rice announced that the ladies' night that we talked about last week would be at 7:30 on December 10th, 1929 at the Bradenton Country Club this time. The keynote speaker was J.D. Fuqua, president of the Palmetto Kiwanis Club, who gave an interesting speech on modern fathers. And at that, we will continue on next week with the term beginning from Robert M. Bell, who plays a significant part in the club.
Thank you, Judge. It's always interesting to hear the history when it goes way back and kind of hear how it, how things worked back then compared to what we're doing and going through right now. So I want to thank the scholarship committee for all of their hard work, and Brenda especially. Some of you on the call know this, but not many do. When I first started in the club, she has worked tirelessly on scholarships for many, many years. So I know there's many kids in our community and young adults who have gotten their scholarships. They've all been touched by her. So we all owe Brenda a round of applause too for all the hard work that she does with our scholarships. It was one of the first committees I was ever on. So thank you to all. If you have any technical issues with your Zoom call, you can reach out to Mac or I, either any of us can help with figuring that out. And, our next meeting will be August 4th, and it will be a Vimeo. So we'll have our 11:30 Zoom call that leads up to the Vimeo where everybody can get together and see each other and share. And Mike will be back, he promises. And he will have a pre-meeting before we go into the judicial candidates that Janine's going to be sharing with us through the Vimeo link. Okay, so I hope everyone has a blessed week. All right, and with that, we are adjourned.